I think one thing that I've noticed after playing this game, following the guide that I did, and after commentating, about 2 weeks worth of episodes, is that this game is not as dungeon heavy as a lot of my friends used to make it out to be when I was in high school, or even when I was in primary school. There actually are quite a lot of mini games in this game. For instance, we're in the middle of a mini game right now. We're collecting cuckoos so that we can get a special item. I mean, everyone knows what it is already, so I may as well tell you. We're getting a bottle, and bottles are like one of the best items in the game, and you have to, put in a lot of effort in order to get them. Another spoiler for you guys, we will get all the bottles in the game, although I don't think we're going to be able to get the maximum arrow quiver. I tried for a good, hour and a half on horseback to try and hit those targets in the Gerudo training ground, and I just couldn't. But well, maybe someone will reveal a trick to me, or I'll use a different controller. But there are a lot of mini games in this game. I think maybe what could be conceded is that it is a game that has the typical Zelda dungeon layout. There's a main overworld, and then there are dungeons in that overworld, and you need to find them. I don't think there's the original Zelda emphasis on it being a puzzle finding the dungeons, or maybe it doesn't feel like a puzzle anymore because we know the game so well. But I feel like there are a lot more mini games in the game than I remember, But anyway, we'll leave it at that. We'll start the footage now, I reckon. We're just in the middle of collecting these cuckoos. I think what's really cool about this particular minigame is that, flight and 3 dimensions are exploited so well. There'll be lots of flips and shit in this particular episode. We're going to be doing some really cool stuff, and with the magic of Hollywood, we'll be able to, well, it's not really Hollywood, but through the magic of video editing, we'll be able to make it look really, really simple. Because I did spend maybe an hour and a half trying to get onto that ledge from the top of the building blocks over there. I think, am I being too meta? Maybe I'm being a little bit too assumptive with people's knowledge of the game. So maybe we'll just experience the game as it's being played. So what we had to do there is we had to jump off that ledge with the cuckoo and use flight in order to reach that ledge. It's impossible to reach that ledge as a child without using a cuckoo. Although maybe there is a technique that you can use, people have found them. There's all sorts of techniques that people know now. Like most of the game skipping abilities that people have now by glitching through walls and stuff for the speed runs is amazing. I think I got a little bit lost here. I don't know what's going on. But yeah, no, I think I spend just as much time in dungeons as I do doing minigames in this game. Like fishing takes a while, this cuckoo collecting stuff, so I'm not sure that the original criticism that people make that, Majora's Mask had better minigames or was more minigame structured and was therefore better. I'm not sure that's true. Alright, we need to get another chicken now and grab that chicken and then use it to fly somewhere else. So we'll just grab the chicken. It actually is really annoying if you have the volume up all the way and you listen to this chicken in distress all the time. Although it is pretty cool to see the feathers fly towards the camera like this. That's a very, very cool addition. Right, this is a little bit tricky. I was wondering whether I should stand on the fence or not at this point, but I don't think you have to. I think like most of this mini game or this mini quest, you basically can clip onto a fence or clip over a fence. Okay, I wasn't sure what to do with this chicken now. I think you do throw it over the fence. Yeah, you get rid of it, but you don't jump on the fence. That's one of the problems I had with this. Like the context sensitive button is not perfect. It's not the best implementation of it. Like I had a friend who was talking about another game. Maybe it was this game, and he said, he didn't really understand the hype behind Zelda because, it's not really done. It's not really done that well by modern standards. And it's true, games did Zelda better than Zelda. Like Beyond Good and Evil, that was a really good Zelda-style game. But this was the first game to do this, you know, much like Mario 64 was the first game to do 3D action platforming. And I guess if you watch the Game Grumps Let's Play, you'd note that it's, by modern standards, it's kind of an awful game. And I don't mean to make people rage when I say that, but the controls are not great. The camera is really difficult to control. Like, there'll be those platforms that you'll be standing on in a really abstract environment, which itself is difficult to understand, and you'll have to jump sideways, and normally you're used to having the camera behind you, so you just jump forward by holding the control stick forward, but no, you actually have to hold the control stick to the side and then jump, and it's impossible to judge the distance between you and the platform that you're jumping onto when the camera's not behind you. So I think that's just a little example of how, you know, the game mechanics were still very experimental. So that's how you get the cuckoos. I figured it was pretty self-explanatory. You just climb up the fence, and I wanted to talk about something else instead of narrating exactly what happened in the game. Alright, I love bottles. Bottles are great. If you have 4 bottles, it makes the final boss battles really, really easy. Right, I think now we head into the graveyard, I'm pretty sure. I got really lazy, so I put the game down while it was still recording there. No, we don't go into the graveyard. We gotta go get a heart piece. Now you can get this heart piece when you're returned from Death Mountain on Kaepora Gabora, the owl, but I want to get it as early as possible, and I also want to be a little bit, you know, a bit of a show off. Now I did cut this together, so I did have many attempts at getting this right. No, see? It's just so frustrating. I think my controller's really bad. I think I cut about here. Yeah, so we cut here and we come back. Alright, this is the time that I do get it. It's just so frustrating when your controller doesn't obey you properly, or when you don't get quite lined up, or when you have a big dead zone in your N64 controller. It's a huge problem. I think I replaced the joysticks on a few of my controllers, but I'm dead set on using this, you know, vanilla controller that I didn't do anything to, and that I got in a fairly good condition the first time. So as you can see, it looks like you won't get it, but then you clip. So be optimistic when you jump, I reckon. And obviously you're rewarded with a cow in a cage in a house. That must make a lot of mess. But we got a piece of heart, so it's good. I will leave. This is probably the quietest bit of the video. I've just been talking the whole time. How to jump down. It's always cool to look at an area from a different point of view that you hadn't been at before. It's really bad English. Now the chickens are gone again. It must be so frustrating. You know, you might be in the middle of a puzzle and you've had enough. You come back and it's reset. That'd be awful. This guy shoves you out of the way. It's a really heavy runner. Like, I don't know anyone that runs with such a heavy trudge. Oh, it's just amazing what they're able to do with the color in this game. Like, it looks like it's going to rain in this particular area. Alright, so now we have an empty bottle. The first thing that we have to do is fill this bottle full of bugs. And there's obviously a really well-known bug trick that if you capture 1 bug, you get 3 bugs again. And I seemed to have forgotten that the bugs were underneath the rock. Yeah, there we go. Need to catch them pretty quickly. Whoop, nope, no good. Okay, we got one. Right, now, generally speaking, if you go up to patches of earth, soft little patches of earth, and I don't think I've shown you guys the patch of earth before, but if you go up to this patch of earth and you release bugs into it, the bugs magically go into the hole and out pops a gold sculpture, not a silver sculpture, a gold sculpture. You got to catch the bugs pretty quickly. And if you watch the game if you watch this Let's Play long enough, you'll know that most of the time the gold Skulltula lands on top of me as I'm waiting for it to come out. Alright, so that's the gold Skulltula. And now the next thing that we have to do is go up to a big tombstone and play Zelda's Lullaby to it. So I've got to take out my Ocarina. Get it right. Get good! And this is a really freaky cinematic sequence that comes now. I think it's really cool. Yeah, it's so cool, so freaky. Alright, we're actually going to pause the game here. Alright, we're going to be doing a little bit of questing or item hunting in the graveyard for a while. So, I'm not I think it'll just be the next episode. But, yep. Alright, we'll leave it here and look forward to a little bit of item hunting in the graveyard next episode. Alright, I'll see you then.